Hi, guys. Welcome to the TCCW Live. We are here with a special guest, Mr. Eric with Keto 50. I'm sure you have seen him around. He has been doing quite a journey and exploration with getting people aware of this kind of lifestyle and how it can help us and the benefits it can give us. We also are joined today with Neanderthal, as we call him, Cam, and we also have Nate, the Carnivore Cop. So if you don't know any of these three that are on the table today, you need to. All right, welcome, guys. How is everybody doing?
Awesome.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Awesome day for me. I'm having a good day.
Good.
Hey, it's nice to have a cop back up on the show, man. I finally got a
Yeah.
94. This is awesome,
Yeah,
man.
if they get out of hand, I'll be right there with you.
Yeah.
So, in case anybody hasn't known or seen, very, very quick, briefly, you don't have to go into like crazy amounts of detail, but Eric, what exactly got you to this point to where you are doing what you're doing now and have entered this lifestyle?
Pretty much being metabolically sick my whole life, battling weight. I became a police officer. I battled everything that job and happens, and I found myself really heavy. And I found keto, and it was and ketovore, and then it was carnivore, and ended up losing 80 pounds. I made a complete transformation, not only my mind, body, and soul, that I actually started helping other cops and other people I knew in my circles. And then it kind of turned into this Keto 50 program where I was just coaching guys, buy me a steak lunch, man, and we'll talk about it, or buy me a breakfast or something. And it became really cool, man. I started reaching out, helping dispatchers, and, the Keto 50 thing kind of caught on like Hawaii 50. And I don't know, I turned it into a little side hustle here where I try to help guys and ladies and everybody with this lifestyle. And in the meantime, I've battled, PTSD and heart disease, and I've battled the COVID shit that everyone's had to go through in life, over the last 5 years while we homeschooled, traveled in an RV across the country, and, been on this crazy journey and started a nonprofit to help first responders called Cops and Campers. So we've been pretty busy since I retired in 2019.
That is absolutely awesome. I think both of the guys here too have related experiences in some way or another with most of everything you just said there. So you started this whole camping travel experience there, and what exactly do you do with that?
Well, we pulled our son out of school, first grade, back in 2018, and my wife was kind of indoctrinating me on the tiny houses and let's put a shipping container in the woods and weld them together and all this crazy nonsense. I thought this lady was crazy.
Right.
And it starts to, she wore me down. And then she said, let's get a camper. You can retire early. We won't have to worry about our mortgage. I was going to retire probably 2021, 2022 anyway, so it wasn't that far out to just do it a little earlier. And I never camped in my life, like ever. For me to tow our house around became another stressful thing I had to conquer in my life. And it became absolutely the best decision we ever made. While we were homeschooling and traveling the country, it was new experiences, new regions of the country we would have never seen unless I tapped out early of that career. And I got to spend time with my kids, and I got to meet other first responders and veterans at different campgrounds across the country. And really impacting them on what they're eating and how to retire and at least live your retirement years. You paid a piece of your soul for this pension.
Yeah.
Let's at least let you enjoy it, and then it became this moving like circus of where we go. We try to just meet first responders and let's eat some steak and eggs, man, and how beneficial that is. It's crazy talk, but it's been working.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, it disappeared.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
What happened? No.
Ran away.
Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty crazy traveling the country during that time and trying to manage how do we get meat on the road, right? Because we weren't on a farm, So one of the
Right.
things we would do is we would stalk farmers markets. We would look on local forums. We would ask locals and say, where do you get your meat from? Where do you get this? And talk to the farmers and see if we can go to the farmers for a tour. And if they let you come to their place, then they're usually pretty clean on some level. You know, if they're hiding
Yeah.
something, they don't want you out there. And, you know, I have a son that suffers from Lyme disease, and we have to be really strict with what he eats, the type of eggs he eats. You know, if they're eating corn and soy, my kid can't eat them eggs because he breaks out or he has an inflammation issue that happens. So we have to be vocal and very, like, you know, it's probably annoying. I see my wife when she starts talking to these guys. I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, because she goes deep on a deep dive with them, asking what do they
Yeah.
use, and they'll try to talk her out of her nonsense. Oh, you know, it doesn't matter, lady. You know, and she's like, get out of here, get out of here.
It does matter.
And you know, there's some good deals out there with other, you know, online companies where you can order meat and have it timed where you're going to be. So that was one of the things we really looked at, because that was our biggest issue on the road, was trying to stay healthy and feed ourselves with proper human diet, right? I mean, it's not easy
absolutely.
living at home and doing it. So sorry, I'm chatting a lot here. I know you guys got something to
No,
say.
no,
that is
fine.
hard. You know what I mean? Traveling and having to source and trip everything out. Luckily enough, there's a bunch of apps to be able to find farm stands. But
Yeah, the milk app we
Yes.
use too. My kids do a lot of goat milk and stuff like that. So that's always,
yeah,
I mean, we pulled up, I
raw
think it
milk
was
stuff.
some farm somewhere. We pulled up in the driveway and the farmer came out and poured out of her pitcher into our gallon that we had. It was like a drug deal, man, because that town, I guess,
Awesome.
it was illegal to sell it. I'm like looking around, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna come out, man, like my old days. So it's just wild to me that you got to put a stupid animal sticker on it, you know? It's
Yeah.
Is that not crazy? I know where I live, it definitely is only like, oh, this is only for your pets. And you're just like, really? It's milk. Come on.
That's crazy.
Everyone's playing this stupid game too, right? That's what drives me insane. Let's just stop BSing
Yeah.
each other. You know, I know I'm drinking it. Can we just agree?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, gosh. But anyways, you know, it's been pretty cool though, because in the mix, we've been able to work on the farms too. I worked on a cattle farm, we worked on a chicken farm, and even a pig farm for a little bit, which you know, we had to slaughter a pig, and that was one of the most violent things I've ever seen. But
Okay,
we got
so I helped slaughter a pig like 4 years ago, and it was
Okay.
so brutal. And I still joke and laugh about it to this day because I was like, I've seen some terrible things, but man, that was rough.
Me and my son still talk about the squealing, because he was like 10 and he's a real like he'll do whatever, and he's like, Dad, I still remember the squealing. I go, me too, son, me too.
Yeah,
You know,
like
and it's
welcome
like
to
we're
your
drinking a
first
beer
real
together.
trauma, buddy.
Well, the way we did it too is a little barbaric. It was old time like farmer life doing it. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna give them something to settle them down and euthanize them. You know, it was like a
Yeah.
mob attack. It was like we were in the mob. You know,
Yeah.
remember the
They're like,
Goodfellas?
you're gonna hold
Yeah.
them. I'm gonna cut his throat. I'm gonna do this. You're like, no.
Here's your shine box. I'll show you. You know, so. But yeah, we like my wife, even she's like not really like getting hands on, but she even was participating in a chicken harvest. You know, she's holding chicken heads and all kinds of. I was like, wow, look at this girl from Brooklyn getting all hardcore now. So sometimes it's good to get outside your comfort zone and do some stuff and that's something we really believe in. Like I was a suburban kid. I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up with grocery stores and the best fast food around, school lunches, right? So that's
Sure.
pretty much what made me sick. You know, and I was like, wow, I knew where food came from though. I wasn't a dummy, you know, but
Right.
seeing it come from that and then being able to take care of the animals too. I mean, I love animals now, you know, being out there with the goats and stuff, like it's just hanging out when they don't talk back, you know, it's
I
pretty
Yeah.
find it such an interesting perspective that a lot of people have about those of us that choose to be carnivore or live a fairly, you know, ancestral type lifestyle, is that we don't care about animals or that we don't like animals. And I go, you know, it's so funny is I have so much more reverence for them since becoming carnivore than I even did before. And I loved them before, but there's just such an honor and a like a respect of
The
gratitude
Thanksgiving.
and gratefulness. Yeah, definitely. I know I've
Yeah.
seen
My
cans with a few
empathy level
things.
went up higher for sure. You know what I mean? I've always been a hunter, but when I started just focusing strict on meat, it was like, okay, this animal is sacrificing its life for me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's life for my life. You know what I mean? The vegans, to them, I'm a soul collector, which in fact I am. You know what I mean? But I honor that soul. You know what I mean? It gave its life
Yeah,
for me to
I'm
be
like a big
optimal.
into not wanting to waste anything. And so,
Mm.
I mean, if I'm cooking something that I'm going to eat through the entire week. Uh, and I'm going to make sure I don't waste any of it. I mean, nothing goes to waste. And the same thing goes like when I hunted, where we, uh, go and buy cow, we go and buy a steer. I mean, we're eating everything from beef cheeks all the way
Yeah.
down to oxtail, everything in between. Just feel weird to waste something that, I don't say sacrifice, but that
Yeah. Waste
we
of life.
harvested.
But,
It just feels dirty if you don't actually use everything.
Mm.
yeah.
There
It's
is a
more
spiritual
respectful
thing
to
with
eat
it
it.
too. I'm sorry. What was that?
No, go ahead. I was just saying that it's more respectful to eat the animal rather than waste it.
Hmm.
Mm. Absolutely.
I mean, I get it. You're feeding this animal great, it's like, here you go, buddy, and then you're also got this another motive, right? But what's the other thing? You're going to let them, farm them, eat garbage, and then eat the sick meat anyways. I mean, you might as well take care of it and, bless it and be, lucky enough to have that meal. And you almost feel like an Indian, when you
Yep.
kind of say a little
Right.
prayer for it, and you say, thank you, and
Mm.
I don't eat twice a day now, man. So every meal is kind of special. It's no longer just fillers like I used to have, like I'd squeezing something in. Every meal
Yep.
is like, it's
Sacred.
a hunt in a way. Yeah, it is sacred, and I enjoy every bite,
Yeah.
and I don't
That's
waste food
meaningful.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife does make some killer sourdough, man, with like 3 ingredients. So I'm not gonna lie, I'll put some ghee butter on that with some like garlic salt or something. But
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
my body just crushes that because I don't have any other interference, So it's
Yeah.
That's all you need for sourdough, though, is 3, maybe 4 ingredients, if that.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, if you count the water, salt and the starter and whatever else. I think she uses icorn. I think that's the ancient
Ancient
icorn grain.
grain.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
that's what
I
because
have
I still
no
got
idea
2
how to make
rugrats.
sourdough.
They can't eat all meat all the time. They do berries and strawberries and, like I said, goat milk and goat. I'm trying to think of the carbohydrates they really eat. Is her sourdough and maybe some cassava pasta that she gets through one of those Vitacost, deals, or she gets 2 for 1 or something, But we don't need a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff, man. It's very simple. A lot of eggs. We crush eggs, I mean.
Yeah. Always best to keep it simple.
Yeah, it's not. We don't have this love affair with food like a lot of families we see in the camping
Mm.
Yeah.
worlds we see. And they love their
Used
Doritos and
to.
soda. Yeah,
Definitely used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the change for sure. You know what I mean? Going from what you used to eat to now, just I can't even look at the stuff anymore. It's just skull and crossbones. I see someone eating
I
it that I
know.
love, and it just breaks my heart. And you want to scream at them, and if you do, they'll hate you for it. You're a lunatic. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel pretty damn good.
Whenever I see
After
cookies
a
and
crazy
brownies, it
person
doesn't
I'm
even cross
operating
my
to be
mind.
great.
Yeah.
What is it, F?
What'd you say, bud?
All the desserts that I see, it doesn't even cross my mind. I'm just like, oh, you're just there. Okay. Have fun.
Dude, I can't tell you how much I love being 172 pounds compared to being 242 in the area where I floated from 250 down to 235. Being this weight, I love it so much that, like you said, you see that piece of cake and I just look at it like, you're the evil that put me in that other state,
Yeah.
and I just can't. It's like looking at an ex-girlfriend that cheated on you or something. You're like, get away from me. Disgusted by you,
Yeah.
And then there's alternatives that you can use. You could do some almond butter if you just wanted a quick fix for something. If you were just craving. There's little cheats you could do. You don't have to eat that whole horrible shit at these Christmas parties, man. I see it. Oh,
Yeah, you can always just do the better thing. You don't have to be 100% all the time, but at least do better for yourself.
Yeah, I'm sure
Absolutely.
Eric, you dealt with it when you worked at the police department. Like during this time of the year, people are dropping off sweets and treats, and people are bringing in sweets and treats, and you're just like, you walk in, you look at it, you're like, I don't really need that. Like I like the idea of it, but I really don't need it. And then you see some of these dudes that are eating it, and you're like, you don't need that either, buddy. Like we gotta get you away from it.
I would get like our breakfast bought for us, and that's when I was on that stupid egg white and turkey bacon kick, you know. And I'm like, man, that's what they're buying for me. I wish I was eating steak and eggs then, you know, because that would at least help the budget out a little bit, you know. But yeah, it was always the cookies, the cakes, the Chick-fil-A's would drop off. Hey, here's a whole bunch of goodies for you, you know, and I would crush it. I would crush that stuff, you know. But I didn't. I found this way of eating my last year as a cop. You know, that last 6 months, and I was riding a desk job in evidence, and I was getting out, man. That last hurricane we had to go through in 2019, where I had to be away from my family, I was like, that was it. I was like, I'm done protecting the citizens of this city. You know, I want to protect my little citizens of my tribe. You know, and I knew I was out, and that was it. And you know, and getting away from the police department, the stress of the job. I mean, a lot of people are working with me and they're like, man, I can't get rid of this last 30 pounds. And I'm like, dude, this is stress. It's what you're going through. And it's not going to just be a simple answer. You're going to, as long as you have that job that's that stressful, you're going to probably have additional weight or some additional stuff that's going on, you know, until you relieve yourself of that, you know, or find another path. You know, if you got a small window, like, I don't know how many more years you got, Nate, but at least you found the secret early, so you're gonna be able to manage it to the end of your career.
On paper, I could probably leave in 8, but I'm gonna probably stick around for another 12. So, and there's monetary reasons behind it, but for the most part, and I've got a sweet gig. I'm in our training division, so I'm kind of sheltered from the cortisol dumps you get from, you know, driving code or, you know, going to hot call and doing stuff like that. But I mean, I still go out on the street once in a while and do stuff. And, you know, I'll tell you, when you get away from driving lights and sirens, when you get away from showing up to crazy scenes, and then you go do it after the first time in, like, let's say like 3 or 4 months, you're like, whoa, that's a rush. No wonder I got addicted to this.
Yeah. Yeah, your cortisol levels are insane. And I still have it now. Like if something gets me a little riled up, it could be a wild animal in the woods, or it could be a drunk freaking camper. I'll feel it, boy. I'll be there real fast, and I have to wind myself down and push it. Like, hold on, bro, hold on. You know, we're not going code to these calls anywhere where you could show up at anything. You know, it's a horrible story that turned out good. But on Christmas morning, my rookie year, there was a baby that had drowned, and we got there on the scene. I remember one of the officers holding this lifeless kid, and they threw it in the rig for the fire department. They took us to the hospital, and at the time they were like, Reynolds, get in the back of the rig because you got to maintain chain of custody and evidence. And I remember seeing the paramedics bring this kid back to life, and he was choking and crying, and I was like, holy cow, you know, this is why I got into this job, you know, for a moment like that. But that moment for the rest of my life, every Christmas, it was a simple mistake that the grandparents didn't lock the slider, and the kid, 2-year-old, snuck out the side door. You know, it could happen anytime. So every Christmas now, I have that thought. And if I wasn't right, you know, in the right state of mind and eating proper human diet and trying to watch my alcohol, which I don't do anymore, but at the time really manage my stress, that's the kind of thing that compounds over your whole career. And by the time you're 20, 25 years in, you're that asshole cop that everyone talks about. You're overweight, you're divorced once or twice, you hate everybody, and you're holding on to that job because it's all you got, you know? Yeah. But, you know, the secret is, like, guys like Nate and everybody else, of course, in your in your industry, you're going to be able to influence people around you. And it's really, you got to get a hold of it now, man, because, man, they gave me a death sentence with this heart disease. They said, you're going to be dead in 10 years, you know, and what am I, 7 years in? Yeah. I'm still hanging around, still, you know, doing a lot more than other 56-year-olds are doing, right? I'm not running marathons, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not sitting there like trying to outrun people like I used to. You know, my son is fast enough for me to keep up with. So, but it's been something. We really think about the damage that you've done in the career you're in, and, you know, the toxins I had in that career. And how many times we're supposed to wear gloves, I didn't wear gloves. Yeah, I mean, it just happens. You know, I mean, I never knew how much I didn't wash my hands until COVID happened. You know, that was like, I was like, oh my God, did I ever wash my hands before? Not to be gross, I meant bathrooms and stuff, but just in general, like all the stuff other police cars I was in and out of, grabbing stuff, guys. I mean, it's nasty.
Well, because everything happens so quickly.
Sure.
Oh yeah. And sometimes you don't even think about it. I mean, I jumped into a canal once to try to help a guy that crashed in there trying to get him out. He was dead already, but you're swimming in some swamp water. Those reptiles swimming around, those dinosaurs in the water down in South Florida. What am I doing?
Yeah, dude. I just think of like all the just like the disgusting humans I've touched over time, like not intentionally, like not like I'm out there like trying to manhandle nasty humans, but you just interact with so many people, and just the environment you're in. Squad cars, like you said, oh dude, the squad cars are petri dishes. I think every flu or every cold I ever got was probably from sitting in a squad car at some point in time. Heck, I got fleas because the person who had the car before me brought in a homeless dog or a stray dog to go take to the SPCA, and they never fumigated the car, and myself and the rookie ended up getting fleas. I was just like, oh God, like you just the disgusting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine that. Oof. Especially the city officers.
Yeah, it gets bad. I don't know if you guys had the experience of someone pooping on themselves in the cell and you have to transfer them. I luckily got to experience that, but I got to sit back. I'm like, I'm not going in there. He's covered in himself, dude. I'm not going in there. He's naked. I'm not doing it.
You'd be like, yeah, I don't want.
Hose
He
him
can
down
clean
first.
himself. What if you can do it? Draw straws.
Exactly.
I'm not going
You
in
can hose him
there.
down. Yeah, we had to bag him. It was awesome, but
Oh, that's terrible.
I felt that way when my 3-year-old, who was 2 at the time, I had like gone out to the backyard, and the way we have our little setup is everything's gated and the living room space is completely like it's his room. There's nothing in there. All the outlets have like special lockbox cases, and so it's like he's good. I'm out in the backyard and I'm getting something hosed off from where we were playing outside and getting it put away. I may be out there 10 minutes tops, like nothing crazy. I walk back in the house and I'm like, what the hell is that smell? And I start walking in and he's just like on the wall, and I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm done. Like, I'm done. I'm over this. This is not what I signed up for.
it's the same thing but different. It's pretty much that's what policing is. It's just, you know what I mean?
Right. You're trying to
Being a parent.
manhandle adult 2-year-olds.
Oof.
I noticed we've got a couple of people who probably have worked shift work. Did you notice that you put the most weight on when you were on like a deep nights or like a swing shift, like late night afternoon shift? Just out of curiosity.
Pretty much all I did, was late night stuff.
I drank less on nights because I wasn't drinking when I got off at work. I would get off at 5:30 in the morning and I'd sleep till like 1 and then hit the gym, and then night shift would start by 4 or 4:30 or something. So you were actually probably in pretty good. I was rocking and rolling at that point. What got me
I wasn't drinking. But
yeah, I was definitely drinking. It was the accepted way of dealing with stuff.
Coping.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I hate looking back at some of the decisions I made because of the drinking. Not only with women, but just like in life in general. Looking back to my 20s and everything, I'm so glad I was able just to take a break of it. I'm not saying I'll never, if I win the lottery, have a freaking champagne or something like that. But right now, there's not a role for it anymore. I don't have that stress. I don't have that. So I don't need it anymore. And it's been working out great. And I'm still detoxing from it, man. It's only been 2 years, and there's still stuff going on with my body overall. For 30 years of being a heavy drinker. And
I noticed switching over to this diet, I don't have the draw to alcohol that I had maybe in the past, right? Like, not that I had a problem, because I didn't. And I know a lot of people do, but I do notice that, like, if I am gonna have a drink, it's in a social setting. I don't reach out for, like, when I'm sitting around the house. Like, it's just not something I'm super interested in. I don't know if it's just a reduction of sugar in the diet or just being strict about it, but it's fascinating because I grew up in Wisconsin, so it's like extremely socially acceptable to be like, have a 6-pack of beer when you come back to the house. Like it's totally acceptable to like go and get hammered in a social setting. And now for me, it's just like, well, I might have like a old fashioned when we go out, But it's going to be like one drink. It's not something I'm going to sit down and like belly up to the bar. It's kind of interesting, the change in the desire to drink over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I have to
And it
say,
could, probably keep going away.
Yeah, go
I was
ahead,
just saying,
Ken.
it's gonna probably keep going away. Eventually, you'll probably just won't even think about it. You know what I mean? You'll be like, oh, club soda is pretty risky, you know. After about 5 years, so
I could see that. I could totally see that.
yeah, or because they
Sparkling.
got fluoride in their water, but whatever. No,
Right.
Sparkling water for me. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, and right now, even like if I'm gonna go sit by the pool, like, and I do, like, I try to relax and get at the pool. If I sit at the pool, maybe I'll have like a ranch waters, just like a tequila, splash of lime, and Topo Chico. But I mean, even then, it's just like I have one drink. I'm like, I'm good. That was refreshing. It was fun, but I'm over it. It's kind of funny how that works.
It is for
Yeah.
sure. I'm like, I wouldn't say stereotypical like Irish heritage in the sense of, but I definitely liked my whiskey and I liked my Guinness, and every time we went out to dinner, I had a drink. Every time we went any kind of special occasion, I didn't really drink at home much, so it wasn't like I was drinking all the time, but it was like every time we went out, that was like, oh, well, we're going out. So, this is what you do.
Because it's socially acceptable.
Right. And it was really interesting to notice that my husband and I went out this last March, and we went to go watch a band play at a restaurant, and it was for our anniversary, and I was like, let's have a whiskey. That sounds nice. Just one. It sounds nice. I think I drank maybe about a little less than half of it after the ice had already melted down. And I was like, man, I was okay with it, but it wasn't like, oh, not the same experience. I didn't necessarily want it the same way. And it was the first time I'd had a drink in 4 years, but it was like, nah, I'm good without it.
Yeah, because you're drinking now and you're just like, well, what was the point of drinking back in the day? I don't even enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting how that does shift without even necessarily forcing it to shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, Nate, let's just say there might have been an unmarked police car at a few tailgate parties down at the stadium in Miami.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's probably not the best career move to do back then, but I got away with it. So, I mean, somebody got away with it. No kidding.
Sure.
But yeah, I couldn't believe the stuff I was doing. How fast can we go code back from the stadium? It's just nonsense behavior, and luckily I found my wife, and she doesn't drink. So we're going camping, and all of a sudden it became that thing where I'm the only one drinking. I got 2 young boys, so they're not boozing. So
Sure.
it was real easy though. You go to different campsites. Hey neighbor, and he's like, oh, want a beer? Want a shot? Next thing you know, you come back and you're sloshed.
Right.
And she's like, what happened? You went to walk the dog. I'm like, I don't know. I met like this veteran guy, this army guy. And they challenged me to a shot or a challenge coin, and and then we were wasted. So, but yeah, there was always 2 places I knew in our campground routes. I have, a gym, the one that's everywhere, and a liquor store. I knew where those 2 spots would be. I was still battling, even on Carnivore for 3 years. I was still having my alcohol at night because I didn't know how to calm my central nervous system down from all the years of going through what I had gone through. And we all have our own triggers and stuff like that. My mom was a cop also, so I came from that whole cop world like all the time. My football coaches were cops. And they were ex-Vietnam vets, so they were extra triggered. They're all a bunch of dirty Harrys walking around looking at you like, what'd you say? I'm like, just asking about the play, coach. I wasn't offended.
I told you 3 months ago what the play was.
They hit you with a whistle and the helmet and stuff, no water.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that were raising me, and I have to dial it back on my own boys sometimes. Like, okay, give them water, But yeah, so it was a different mindset with those guys, and the stress I had with the career. I really had a hard time calming myself down. My parents have been married 8 times, so I moved around like, oh, hey, I got a new mom again. How you doing, Karen? Actually did have a Karen stepmom. It's pretty funny. I think back.
Oh, wow.
I never thought about it. All the names. I'm like, oh, it just hit me. You know, my mom had 3 marriages. You know, they're both still married to the people that they've been with the last 35 years. It just took several tries to find the right one. So anyways, all that stuff led to me, I think, really depending on alcohol more than I realized, to calm myself down, because I didn't know another way. I was gymming it. You know, I was trying to go out and, you know, I was exercising. I was, you know, but I still didn't know a trick yet, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, when I retired, I just started using CBD and gummies and stuff to help me sleep at night. I've shared this before. I was in a shooting in 2012, and it really kind of messed me up for a while. And whew, see,
Wow.
Let it out, bro. Let it out.
Sorry, man, I just ruined the whole show.
No, you
No,
didn't.
No,
Let it
you
out, brother.
didn't. You didn't.
No.
So what,
I have
so what
to
happens
say-
is,
Sure.
it was a really rough time there for a while. So, you know, you're trying to sleep at night, manage a family, you retire. COVID's going on. That was another, you know, thing that was happening. So you finally have to come to grips with certain things. So I was able to, you know, I went to my doctor and said, hey, what can I try that's not a pharmaceutical? And he mentioned the marijuana, and I'd experienced it before. You know, I'm not a dummy. I grew up in Miami. You know, I went to college at Florida State. We're #1 party school in the, you know, country. And that's why it took me 8 years to become a cop. Because of those 8 years, it wasn't just weed. So,
Right.
you know, I knew a lot about it, and you know what, it was a game changer for me. You know, it helped me sleep at night, helped my next day
For
get
sure.
started a little bit, you know, and I was able to calm myself. And now I'm looking into microdosing with some of the guys that I work with the Undercover Dumpster Fire,
Mhm.
and they got a practice out of Colorado, and we're just going to be looking at it, you know, to see, you know, one of the places I looked at was going to Mexico for therapy, right? And it was all this whole 1 week thing. It's covered. It's called like Blue Siren or Blue Light or something. And I was like, man, I'll go to Mexico. I was kind of scared though, because I really don't want to go to Mexico, but I will, to try to help, you know, the whole thing and do it for everybody, to see if it helps me to help
For
other
sure.
people.
Yeah.
And then I asked what they were what's the diet like? Like, what are you going to be feeding us during this cleansing time? I think it was, I don't know if it was ashwagandha or if it was one of the other ones. So they said it was pretty much a vegan diet with a little bit of fish in there. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't go there and change my carnivore way of eating, which has been so helpful, to then try to cleanse myself of stuff. I think I've already been doing that already, been on the carnivore, and, you know, I was really high in heavy metals. So I've really been working on trying to detox my body. So I really felt like that wasn't going to help me, that particular type of therapy, especially based on the diet. So really, if you ever look at that stuff, make sure you know what they're going to be feeding you, because I think I would have had more trauma and stress from not eating meat than
Well, yeah,
eating
especially if you feel like it was going to, it definitely would. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I would have planted that seed in there.
You already had it. You know, the fish with the heavy metals. You know what I mean? You already got the freaking plants, still nutrients. You're going down there trying to get all that stuff out.
Mexico.
Don't make it.
No, no gun. I would have lost my mind. I'd have been running off the fucking plantation.
Going buying a 38 off some guy off the street. You know,
He disappeared.
Yeah.
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 So
Wow.
yeah. Anyways, sorry I got choked up there. Sometimes it just comes out.
Don't worry about it, man.
Please don't be
but-
sorry.
It's,
But I
You-
share it because
I
that's the
talked to a
kind of
lot
shit
of our
that does
retire-
happen.
Yeah, of course.
I've talked to a
Where we
lot of our
stand, sir.
retirees, and they talk about how, you know, when you get away from the noise, you start to things come back, you know, because you deal with all this craziness, and you're used to deal with the craziness, and you just bury it down, and then when you finally have time to sit down and think about it, it eats you up sometimes, and that's totally normal. It's just your brain processing all the shit you've seen and done. So it's just
It's like
part of the
unpacking from
experience,
an old
unfortunately.
life.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like
You
a
do start
never-ending PTSD.
Where you're trying to, one of the things I try to also coach guys is to being present. So sometimes, you know, if you do dip back and you have that moment, it's okay to just get it out really fast and let's come back, you know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bob and weave, learn how to dance with it, take the lead back, you know, and
Yep. Flow with it.
Yeah.
I used to let that shit really like hamper my day, you know, but
Mhm.
nowadays, I mean, obviously, I mean, I was showing them earlier, but look at this view that I'm looking at here in
Unbelievable.
Alabama, you know, and you start appreciating the stuff around you. We have a lake right down the road I go to a lot, you know, and I'm like, you know what, you know, you got to find what your special thing is that's going to help you, you know, and get your calmness back in your life, you know. And I've had to give up
Absolutely.
that career give up that career to do it. You know, I've had to change my life, and it's been the best thing ever. I mean, growing up with my boys, I mean, sometimes we learn the same stuff in homeschooling together that I never learned. It's pretty funny. I'm like, I never knew that. Damn. Yeah, so we're all in the same grade.
We all learn something new every day.
Yeah, it's been cool, man. So
I jokingly say, my son, we went to the zoo, and they're like, I don't know why this seems so ridiculous, but you know, like you go like do like field trips with your kids and stuff like that while they're in school. And we went to the zoo, and I was like 31 years old when I learned that flamingos flew. For some reason, in my mind, I never thought that flamingos could fly. It's so ridiculous. The things you pick up because your kids are learning things at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were like ostriches or something like that. Like ostriches don't fly, humans don't fly. Like I don't know why I never connected the dot that, you know, a flamingo could fly. I think
really don't
you see them
show
standing around every time you do see them. Thank you.
Right?
yeah.
They do. So much so that even I remember my little one, when he was like 2, he would stand in the living room and he'd pick one foot up and he'd just be hanging out like that. And I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I'm a flamingo. And I'm like, I think you've seen that on like one show once ever. Like,
I about dropped out of Florida State when I was there in '93. They said under peer pressure from the Indian tribe, they were changing our name to the Flamingos, and it was a April Fool's joke. I didn't realize it was April 1st.
Oh, that's funny.
They announced it on the radio. They're like, Bobby Bowden retires. I'm like, what's going on? We're the Flamingos now? I gotta transfer. I can't become a Florida State Flamingo. But it's funny you said that.
So there is been a question up here from Philip, and he's wanting to know, have you tried EMDR? From what I understand, that's eye movement desensitization.
Yeah, I did do
today.
I did some of that at it was art therapy with a Dr. Diego Hernandez at the University of South Florida. I met, actually, we all know Dr. David Diamond, the LDL skeptic, right? I don't know if you know, he does a big thing on how he proved pharma is a big scam with their statin research and all this. But he actually got me in touch with this guy because he's a big pro first responder guy. And I did that over a weekend. And it was like 3 to 4 hours each day of the eye movement and kind of just letting you talk and get through stuff. And all of a sudden, all this, you just start hitting stuff, you know, that could be traumatic from your childhood. It could be something that, I don't know, a 3rd grade kid may have said you that really impacted you or something. You know, all this stuff was coming out from me, from my divorces of my, you know, my parents' divorce, and, you know, all kinds of just baggage I didn't realize I was holding on to. And the main point of that therapy for me was, I used to have a thing with getting behind a Lincoln Town car, which was the car from my shooting, from the car chase. Every time I would get behind one, it boom, heart rate would go up, start sweaty on my forehead. You know, I could just feel it. And it's not even the same color, but it's the same bubble shape. So I mentioned that to him, and, you know, we did the therapy. I let all this stuff around the shooting and about a couple of cops that passed away that I knew. And then one day I was driving behind a Lincoln Town car. I didn't realize it. It turned right. And then as it turned, I saw it. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't recognize it right away. So I called him up. I'm like, I don't know what you did to me, man, but this stuff is working. You know, it's not the first, but what he was trying to do was just move all that trauma from your frontal lobe, I guess, to your posterior or to the rear or whatever, get it out of your frontal, like, cause it's kind of hung up. So I would recommend it. I probably need more of it, honestly, to tell you the truth. My wife's trying to always get me to go to some, what's it, sacral type of thing for your head, and, you know, do a lot of touching stuff. I just want a massage. That's all I want.
Right?
That's all I want, man.
You want a massage? She's gonna get you a Reiki healer.
That's right. That's right.
I know. She give me some dude in a fucking
almost massage.
Some shaman that'll barely touch my shoulders. I want a freaking.
It's gonna be a sumo wrestler doing that.
Right. You're going to end up in a session, and I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with what they call Rolfing or Ralphing. And basically, it's where they do the massage so intensely that it's actually tearing apart the any kind of scar tissue or tendon scarring that's deep in the muscle. It's really painful. And she's like, here's this massage. Yeah, you can go to this. Enjoy. It is good for
Yeah.
The last massage that I had
emotional
was
relief.
the last massage I had was a couples massage with my wife, and she was like, I couldn't quite relax because all I could hear was you moaning and groaning on the bed next to me as I hit the deep tissue spots on it. And I'm like, oh God, like make it stop.
Hey, how'd you work that out? Did you go girl, guy, or how'd it work?
Well, that was a loaded question right there.
I'm sorry. Was the
Right.
masseuse a guy? Because my wife and I did that, right? And they asked us, do you
Yeah.
want a male or female? We both looked at each other. I was like, well, who you gonna get? I was kind of curious.
It was two ladies, and the one I got had legitimate man hands. I got manhandled.
Yeah, I think
I'm lucky enough. My wife's a massage therapist, so
Oh, nice.
Well, now you're just
Yeah, it was
bragging.
right. Yeah. No, it was funny though because I walked away and I felt like I got in a car accident afterwards. I was like, "Oh my God!
Mhm.
Like, what happened? Did I irritate her before this massage? Like, there's nothing fun about this."
You dicked her.
you probably really needed it, and you loosened up all that freaking.
oh yeah, get some
Mhm.
trauma
Yeah,
out with
well,
that.
She was like,
Right.
"Here's a glass of water." I was like, "I don't think that's going to solve this problem."
Definitely not.
No.
It's like the Bill Engvall joke when he walked into the massage therapist. He gets a massage. He goes back to his wife. How was your massage? It was awful. I'm more stressed out now than I was before when I walked in there.
Oh man. Hey Nate, I got to do 2 undercover operations of massage parlors, and let me tell you, it was a nightmare. Oh,
I listened to some of the stories from our Vice guys, and it's just like, no thanks. I'm not interested in that.
we snuck in there and put up the cameras because you get the search warrant, you get the locksmith out there, and you put them all up, and then you're thinking, maybe it'll be like some of the cool stuff I've seen when I was looking up bad stuff, right? And it's the most grotesque, nasty. We saw people we knew, like, oh my God, that's the guy for the jewelry store. You're like, no, or the manager at the Waffle House. Manager Waffle House. No, we get half off there. No wonder.
It's gonna mess up our coffee and eggs in the morning.
Off,
Yeah, you really do. You got a pulse on the city, let me tell you. So
Yeah. Yellow pen.
So you guys had a calcium score test done? Any scans?
I've never had a calcium score done, but I've had a lot of other tests. I used to take heart medication.
Ooh.
Like probably 4 years ago now, my doctor told me I didn't have to come back. So that was pretty cool. He said I was good to go. But yeah, from when I was 24 till I was probably 31 or something like that, I was taking heart medication.
What was it for?
Kind
of
AFib.
Oh, okay.
I got defibrillated 5 times in between then.
Wow.
Before I finally got on track, but took a while. Got there though.
Yeah.
A few years of suffering, as they say.
Jeez.
Right.
You guys are all young
No,
guys,
I never.
though, right?
Yeah, I'm only 35.
No,
Yeah,
don't
I'm
get talked
35 myself.
37 here.
all you 30-year-olds. Listen, it's so funny. Well, that's what happened to me. I was on my way out the door in 2019. I was 6 months into keto, down 50 pounds, and I was doing that last series of tests while I had health insurance. I was looking at the colonoscopy. I was looking at, and they kept hassling me about my LDL being so high, and I was like, I don't care. Dr. Barry says my LDL, don't worry about it, right? And this is when I first discovered Ken Berry, and they really scared me with the calcium score test they sent me for, because they're like, oh, that'll see if you're blocked up at all, if you're in danger of a heart attack. So I went and had that done. I was 49. I was like, I'm good now. I've lost 50 pounds, 200 pounds at that point. And fucking came back 1,500, which is a high, was 400 at that time. And my regular doctor was like, oh my God, Eric. He called me at my house, one of those things. I'm sitting there in the kitchen thinking I'm going to fucking die. Sorry, I dropped the F-bomb. And I really did, though. That's how important it was. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I got an appointment for you on Monday with my cardiologist. And I remember going in there, and everyone in there looked dead. All the patients, they were medicated like alive, the gray. Yeah. They're all old. I'm like, I'm 49. I shouldn't even be in here, right? And I sat and talked with that dude, and he kept pushing the statins. And I've already done my research on the statins. You know, he was talking stents, and I already know my research on stents. And I just lost all faith right at that point. And I remember walking out of that doctor's office. I go, I'm never going to see these guys again, you know, and I walked away. So I was happy for 5 years, you know, my happy little carnivore life, you know. And Dr. Philip Ovadia, my now cardiologist, I had done his podcast and I had mentioned that I was carnivore for a long time. And my CAC score had been really high at 1500, scaring everybody. And he goes, oh, we should get you retested since you're like 5 years in. And it came back 4,000. So it almost tripled. So they're like, what the heck is going on? You know, you're asymptomatic. You don't have all these other issues. You know, your insulin levels are perfect. I wore a glucose monitor and had no real issues. And I was still drinking. I was like, man, I got to get this booze up. I remember thinking, right? But I still wasn't. I was like, well, I can have a little, you know. And I ended up really looking at the heavy metal test that came back. He sent me for a test through Vibrant Health, and I paid out of pocket. It was like $800, but they did everything. They did urine, they did blood, and then they tested it, and it came back with heavy. I was high in arsenic, mercury, and aluminum, right?
Oh.
And the mercury was 6 fillings in my mouth that I had that were leaching. I ended up biodentist. I did that whole thing and got aluminum poisoning or mercury poisoning from it for a little bit there. So you have to be careful when you do the cleanup that you actually have a procedure or something in place. Because I went through a little hard time there for a few months back in 2024. And I also discovered I had Lyme disease also, as my son did. So I was like, man, I got all these problems I'm discovering. You know, I don't know if it was COVID related. I don't know if it was pre-existing conditions that are now surfacing because my body's healing overall, right? It's getting rid of the body fat. Now let's work on whatever issues I had. And now this is the next thing. You know, and then, you know, after about a year of that, they sent me for another calcium test again, and it came back 5,600. So now I'm like one of the highest cases around. I've yet to meet anybody else. Dr. Ovadia is like, I haven't met anybody else yet. So I'm running around. I'm 56 now. Like, well, am I going to beat? What's going to go first? Is it the calcium score is going to keep going up, or is my age? Am I going to beat it? You know, and everyone's scared to death about it. And the only thing I can tell you is the calcification that's happened in my arteries is healing. I went for a heart flow exam in Tennessee where they inject you with dye and they use AI and they do a model of your heart and all the blockages and stuff. And I have some bad blockages at the end of my arteries, you know, but my flow is the least restricted one I have, you know, is about only 30% blocked. So I'm still flowing at 70%, even though that calcium score is scaring everybody. And I get on a statin. Well, that's only going to calcify me. I'm already calcified. What are you going to do? I don't have any soft plaque that's floating around. And that's
the
what
calcium score scares them because they only know so much. We only have so much information on it, right? But imagine we don't have so much information, but we have this beautiful blood vessel that's been damaged, or let's say it just doesn't have enough nutrients to make it enough, right? Now you're getting the nutrients. It's fixing all the damage. So instead of having that possible bust out, have a little stroke or heart attack, now you can't because you have the calcium not to blow out now. So,
and I have collateral arteries too. Your body does reroute, you know, blood flow over time. If it's not a sudden, obviously, you know, you're blocked and you drop dead, but over time, your body will try to heal itself and make, you know, try to go around blockages and stuff like that. And I think I got quite a bit of that. I was a very athletic guy as a cop, even when I was heavy. You know, I was in police Olympics playing flag football, playing basketball. I was even though I was gaining weight, you know, tearing up my joints, you know, because, you know, obviously my joints weren't made to be 250 pounds running around, made for 172 like I am now. But that kind of trauma that I did with the job too, you know, every time an alert tone would go off, you get adrenaline dump, you know, all that wear and tear on the heart. You know, I think that was another contributor. And then I meet these other cops have 0 calcium scores. So I'm like, well, it's definitely not the job, you know, so maybe it was. I ate a lot of processed food. I really did. I ate a lot. I grew up in the 80s, TV dinners. You know, you go to Winn-Dixie or whatever grocery store, you can get 10 for $1, you know, and the school lunches and our football program was high in carbohydrates. And when I was free in college, eat on my own, I ate garbage. I ate horrible. I know I did it to myself, but I also didn't know. You know, I didn't.
We didn't know nothing. Parents didn't know.
No,
trust the system.
Especially when you're in college. I mean, there's there is nothing more convenient and cheap than Top Ramen and cup of noodles.
Oh, yeah.
Have
Like,
you seen those reels with that stuff now? Oh my god!
oh my god.
I think one's still on fire somewhere. They were showing it on fire the other day.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, there was an
I saw-
account that made an AI generated like cartoon, describing what ramen noodles like with all the chemicals and shit.
Yeah, I think there's some of that still coming out of my system from college. So yeah.
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
Probably.
We'll detox
I
for a
was
while, maybe.
when I was on night shift, I survived on like 7-Eleven roller dogs, and I just look back and I'm like, that probably wasn't the best for me.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
7-Eleven cheesy bites,
Oh,
Yeah, when I was running track back in high school, I was eating fast food at least once a week, if not twice a week, because we were told we got to get carbs because otherwise we're not going to get any energy.
Yeah.
But long and behold, it's not true.
yeah.
I guess it's
I
just
do a
you
lot
gotta
of cardio.
educate
And,
people.
I do a lot of cardio and conditioning, and I seem to function just fine without carbs. Now, I'm not running marathons by any means, but I don't seem to have a energy issue the way I'm eating.
Yeah. I probably would have broke 15-minute 5Ks if I knew about this diet back in the day, but nobody knew about it back then.
Some people knew.
Some people, but not many.
Social media wasn't there. People weren't talking about it. It was too low, actually, really.
Right, exactly.
Too dangerous.
The only social media we had. Yeah, the only social media we had back in like 2008 or 2009 and 10 was pretty much just Facebook, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I grew up with chat rooms that you had to find specific dial keys to get it. Back when we should have really been monitored a lot more than we were.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had flirted with Atkins back in like 1997. I was catching shoplifters for Macy's. That was a fun job. If you ever want to, that's when you could rough them up. You can't do it anymore. But
No.
Atkins was actually very effective for me. I'd lost, I don't know, I had some of my college weight, like 20 pounds or something, but I didn't understand anything about it. I just knew, just eat chicken wings and meat. I didn't know anything about fat or anything. So, of course,
I did Atkins in like 2004, 2005 when I was in high school playing football, just because my in-laws and my wife at the time, or my wife who I was dating at the time, my in-laws had lost a bunch of weight and they looked great. And wasn't married in high school, but we were committed. Anyways.
Hey, could have been. You were in Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. And,
nobody's judging Nate. It's okay.
Yeah, and I'd lost like 20 pounds, and it looked good, felt good. You get out of high school, you start working, doing stuff, and start eating whatever I could get at the time. But yeah, I mean, it seemed to work. And like you said, I had no clue. I was just like, oh, the book says that this is what works. And I think at the time the South Beach diet too was a big thing. It worked, for the most part. But yeah, this is, now that I understand it so much better, I can make it work for me. It's just superior way of living, honestly.
Make it work for yourself. Really, like Eric is living it completely wild compared to a lot of people right now. You know what I mean? So you got to make it work for what you're doing.
I know. I grew hair, man. The carnivore is awesome.
Yeah,
right.
Actually, I might have the security gig, man. I might have to cut it. I might have to do a video on it. It sucks,
Bummer.
But it's a security job I can't talk about. It's protecting the evil, but I'm gonna use my money for good.
Nice.
But I might have to cut the hair, man. I'm like, no, it's like Samson. I don't want to lose my power. No kidding. No, you know what? My kids grew their hair out, right? So we're like these little Vikings running around, and it's like kind of cool. And I'm like, man, if I chop my hair, it's gonna be like, ah. But
yeah, I'm growing my hair a little bit.
Look at you.
And my kid looks like Tarzan.
Well, I wanted to become Rasta 5-0 when I retired and get into the marijuana business, right? I was going to sell the thin blue line strain and all kinds of shit.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
But I wanted to have dreadlocks. So I'm like, you know what? From the bald-headed cop I was all these years, I'm going to grow dreads, right? And be like
That's
Bob
funny.
Marley, you know? And dude, it's dying. It's not going to make it, man. I might be one dread, if anything. It's just so thin that I can't, it's a ponytail dread. So my wife's like, I can give you pigtails. I'm like, get out of here. You give me no damn pigtails. So that plan's on the back burner right now.
Fair enough.
There is a question in the comments that says, how's your guys' sleep on keto, carnivore, whatever we're doing? How do you guys
When I did
experience
keto, I
your sleep?
drank, so I would kind of go to sleep a little dopey. So it was all right, I guess. You know, I'm not saying it was healthy, but when I went carnivore and then I quit drinking, there was a little rough spot there. That's why I was mentioning the gummies earlier. I needed something that kind of zonked me out that final level, because then, you know, life gets in the way. You start thinking about shit you got to do the next day.
What you started eating healthy, and your mind started getting clear, and more thoughts started popping up. You know what I mean? So you want
Yeah, I was on
zone
fire.
in.
Like things like, oh
Yeah.
man, I should do something else, or I should write an article, or you know what, I was wondering about this LDL question, you know, or something, you know, and then
Yeah.
you can't turn it off, you know. But
Yeah.
Mm.
that's a good problem,
Yeah,
you know.
I sleep hard. I sleep really well. I try to prioritize sleep actually. So, I mean, most nights I'm at least sitting in bed at 9 o'clock at night. I'm probably out by 10. I take like a zinc magnesium B6, like 5 HTP supplement that helps me sleep.
That's
I don't want to say it helps me sleep. It just makes me sleep hard and more fulfilled. And I think a lot of people don't have enough zinc in their diet to start out with, even just like the standard American diet. And it's just something that aids with my sleep. And it's funny because I deal with a lot of rookies. And I work at our basic academy and our in-service academy. And before they go out on the streets, before they go to field training, I'll be like, hey, this is just throwing it out there. If you're going to night shift, you're going to want to buy blackout curtains. And, you know, you need to drink water, you need to hydrate, and you need to find a diet that works for you and stick to it, and find a workout routine that sticks, you know, that you can stick to. And then I'll be like, and by the way, if you take this before you go to bed, it'll help you sleep a little bit harder. And it's not like, you know, like some people like to take the melatonin in excess, and I think that's crazy, especially because it's so unstudied and undocumented. And I don't think people realize what a big deal or what long-term effects they potentially are doing with the melatonin. But if you're taking just a natural, like mineral vitamin supplement before bed that helps aid in sleep,
Drop
it's kind
some
of
oysters right before you go to bed. You know.
yeah, oysters are great. Absolutely.
Get your zinc in.
Right.
Yeah. So
Bedtime
that's
oysters.
and I think even without it, I sleep really well. So, but I just think it's one of those things that just sets me over the edge where I can sleep like a rock. And it's funny because I wake up energized. I wake up feeling great. And I had posted about it the other day. I was like, hey, this is a thing that works for me. Just to let you know, if you're interested, this is something you can do. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. If you're not sleeping, it's not because of carnivore, but I'd look into other things, stress, maybe do some breath exercises, meditation, try something different. But it's definitely not the meat that's not making you sleep.
Yeah, cutting out blue
Yeah.
light before bed's a big deal too. I think that's
Yeah.
a major contributor, and things that you know, a lot of people want to sit on their phones, and it's like your brain just keep going and going and going.
Try to
My-
get
You
your
gotta have some
circadian rhythm
decompression.
set.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely.
I should watch the Hitman reels that I keep popping up on my feed right now, right before I go to bed. It's probably not a good healthy habit.
Get all jacked up.
Yeah, you seen the Hitman's pulling up. I'm like, no, run.
Every once in a blue moon, I'll have to shut the Wi-Fi off before I go to bed. Because because there are nights, most of the time I pass out in like 10 minutes and then I'm out cold like a light, right? But if I'm up for like half hour at least, I shut the Wi-Fi off, just switch the button. I go back to bed and I'm passed out in like 5 minutes. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, we got to do that in our RV. It's aluminum, and we shut everything down because we feel like we're just being bounced around inside of it, you know. And we don't have like a router in there. We use the Wi-Fi of the campground, and then we could use hotspots and stuff. So we really do try to limit, you know, the 5G and all that stuff that's coming in. You know,
It does make a difference.
I've seen it with my kids, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I didn't grow up with the internet, so I'm seeing the kids now they're growing up with it and devices and the way they behave, you know, and you know, I see it a little too much one day. My kid acts one way, and if he doesn't have any of it, he's a different way. I mean, it's obvious to me. You know, so
Yeah, we're not supposed to be so separate from nature. Be
we
separate
joke
from what
around
you
when
are. It's kind of wild.
when our kids use their tablets too much or they're on the TV too much, we're like, all right, you got mush brain. We got to go outside. Time to get some fresh air.
We call it the great reset. We come back outside, and next thing you know, sometimes we get lost outside, you know, for another 30 minutes, and that's what we want to do, though, right? So.
It's like we live in our childhood. All. Go ahead.
I said, I'm waiting to get outside. I drove straight home in 10 hours just to get here for this live for Christmas. But so I can't wait. When I'm done, I'm going to go probably just lay out in the snow. But long drive.
It's dark where I'm at. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's dark and it's probably about 15 degrees. It snowed last night where I'm at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the only thing I can really do is the sun's not out anymore. The only thing I can do right now is touch a tree, and there's my grounding for the day.
Yeah. Go hug a tree in the dark. I don't know. You know, in daylight a little different. But...
Have you
What
guys
kind of tree are we talking here?
Hey, so old guy talk here in the campgrounds. All these old guys are on testosterone shit, right? And because their doctor's like, you got low T, and they never tell them to start eating meat and eggs, right? So one of the things that happened to me was my testosterone in 2019 was like 380, and they were starting to give me that talk. Hey, you know, this is the way it goes. You're getting older now. And now it's almost 800, you know? And I was like 7 years older than that diagnosis, you know? And I'm like, get out of here, man. I'm not saying everyone's going to like double their freaking testosterone, but I know in you guys' age range, I don't know if you got friends that are already on it, but you're usually hooked on that shit for life.
To be on it.
I got plenty of people that want to go on it or like, hey, what is your opinion on this? You know, I'm like, hey, we're going to focus on this instead, more natural, and try to get it first, you know. But not against people doing it, but if you don't have to, you know what I mean? If you can just change your diet and live a healthy life, that's the best.
I think they hand it out a little too easily, you know.
You do it online. Probably use
I think
AI
when you start taking those small steps, start taking care of yourself, everything else kind of starts to fall in line. You know, I mean, you got to at least solve the problems that you've created on the front end. And then if it doesn't raise or things don't change.
Yeah, process your body through what you've done. You know what I mean? You can't use someone else's example as, oh, I'm going to heal like this because this happened to him. Well, no, you know, Eric lived a completely different life than I did. We're all in different areas. You know what I mean? Everett does. You know what I mean? It's like we're all different in our way. We've all different lives. So you really got to make your own model. Don't use someone else's model. But
yeah, absolutely.
I tend to become a little bit like irritated and mean when I'm getting hungry. You know, that's how my wife calls me out. She's like, hey, you need to eat. And I'm like, and it's that edge you need to go hunt and kill something, right? You're starting to oh man, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight for this meal, right? And then I got to go fight my boys in the fridge, you know. But it's funny how you start really paying attention to your body, and you can really like, I'll start making a steak and I'll start drooling, man. I thought that was a joke. First I heard someone talking about it, your mouth preparing for the food, you know?
Yeah.
And it was real, man. I was like, oh my goodness, this is weird, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, you get all those toxins out of your body and all that nonsense that you don't need. And all of a sudden you really do start to pay attention, and earthing, like you had said, getting outside and whether you're touching a tree or, you know, we do try to earth a lot and get outside. That's why we're going to South Florida this week. We can't take the shadiness here. They've been spraying the skies. I don't know if you guys buy into that, but all I know is every time they put an X above us, this happens.
Oh,
if the government says they're not doing it, they're doing it.
And I test high for aluminum for some reason. I don't know why, but
Yes, during the government shutdown, people have been claiming that they haven't seen the trails in quite some time. But then one Saturday morning, I get to my second job. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, I look up and I happen to catch one trail across the sky. I'm like, oh, I thought I thought the government was shut down. Okay. They're probably doing it at nighttime when we're all sleeping.
Yeah, that's another wormhole you can go down, man, and be like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
there's too many rabbit holes. Just go out in
There's a
nature
lot of
and
them.
eat meat.
I don't know if any of
You'll
you
be
follow
fine.
the birds. The
At least
birds aren't
nature's
real,
real.
guy. The birds aren't I don't know if there's an Instagram
Oh, the-
profile, and I know it's
Oh, the
satire. The
pigeons.
birds aren't real. I was like,
The pigeons,
they're
yeah.
drones.
It's not.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any birds during the shutdown.
It's pigeons to be specific.
Yeah, have you ever
Yeah,
seen a
that's
baby
what it is.
pigeon before? No.
Oh, there we go.
I know.
I
What?
haven't seen a baby pigeon though. When you think about it.
Yeah, because they're all
I'm
robots.
like, I know when
They don't
he
make
said that,
baby
I was like,
robots.
wait.
So
I
I gotta
don't
go
think
grab
I
the
know.
tinfoil hat now.
I know everyone's
Right.
just gonna go look up baby pigeons right now. Is what they're doing. Your woman just controlled your life and made you do something you
I
weren't
don't-
meant to do.
It's gonna show up in my feed now, like flat earthing does. Like
Yeah.
one time I looked at a
Yeah.
video. One
Yeah, what do you guys
time.
want? What do you guys want in your feed right now? I'll mention it.
Right.
Oh God.
Pride and
That's funny.
transgender all over you. Here we go.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate
Thanks, Cam.
it.
I just want you guys to know that I love you. No
Appreciate
homo.
it.
So,
Oh,
everyone.
if they're a well understood atmospheric phenomenon, why would they be a phenomenon? If they were well understood.
Mm. Right.
Eminem.
That's funny.
Phenomenon. Yeah, we have
If they
a
didn't admit it that they do it, then I would agree that it's a phenomenon. But when they say, "Hey, this is what we're doing," then I'm gonna be like, "Okay, well, thanks. I'll take for what you're saying." But
Yeah, I like how during we had that flooding down in Texas Hill Country, and the cloud seeding company was like, "Listen, there's a lot of speculation that we cloud seeded, and we did, but it had nothing to do with that." And you're like, "Okay, sure." Like, sure.
right. I mean,
Totally believable. That's something I would say if I owned a cloud seeding company and flooded out an entire region of a state. Totally would say the same thing.
yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of that, and of course, obviously, I have to be very like vague because of not wanting to be disbanded from the channel. But during that same time where I live in the state, that there was this major flooding that happened, and a hurricane hit an inland part of the state in the mountains. It was about 6 months prior to that they were attempting to buy all the mineral rights because the government actually did not own the mineral rights. 6 months later, suddenly that whole entire tri-county area is completely flooded out and thousands of people dead.
Yeah, that's such a. I've been to that region. It is a gorgeous region. I mean, just beautiful area. That Banner Elk area. And through there, we try to do a family trip every year. And so when I saw it happen, it was just unbelievable. It's just such a devastation that took place. And it is a little suspect that they found I think it was lithium that they had found in that region, and silver, because it's like, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know it, that Appalachian mountain range, the Smoky Mountain range, is some of the first areas in the United States where they discovered gold and silver. It's just a little bit harder to get to, and it's a lot of people don't know that mountain range was the equivalent of the American Rocky Mountain Range prior to the glacial run. So it's very fascinating. That whole region is just a little suspect how it went down.
It is just a little suspect for sure.
My mom
Yeah,
actually
we
lives. My mom lives over there, and we were camping right there in Greenville, Tennessee, on the other side of Asheville, about an hour from Asheville. And we happened to come down to Florida on the 20th, and that hurricane hit the 24th or whatever it was. We had just left Tennessee, the mountains, and we're like, there's no way a hurricane can hit the mountains of Tennessee. You're never thinking
Right.
that. And that campground we were at got wrecked. It was gone. And then we had fled Florida, and we ended up in Alabama. We're still here, and it was like, wow, that hurricane chased us from two locations that we were looking at settling in a little bit, and, it's funny how things work out. If we would have bought land 2 years ago in that area, we would have been devastated by that hurricane, and
Yeah.
it's been a funny little path, going through this, and that's unfortunate. That whole thing over there, man, I don't even want to get into that, but
right.
freaking tragedy, you know, and the lack of support some of those people had over there, you know. Anyways, hey, so carnivore.
Yeah, carnivore. Back on that
Right.
one.
What do they do with all the animals? No kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I,
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, you got some extra animals laying around. I mean, barbecue
Yeah.
at Pete's house. No kidding.
I mean, let me run to the bathroom and I'll show you.
Oh God.
What?
Because
right.
apparently carnivores don't poop.
Oh, I know,
Well,
right?
I mean, I haven't since being carnivore. What are you talking about?
You don't need to when you just absorb all the nutrients. Come on.
Right.
Hey,
I don't have to poop out toxins if I don't get any trash going in. No trash going out.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
All energy.
And they wonder why we just don't poop as often.
Yeah, we don't run out for toilet paper. You know, I was running out for eggs.
It's crazy
Hitting the
because
farm
like
stands.
anytime someone talks, you're like, oh, you're eating carnivores, like, what's the bathroom situation like? I'm like, it's pretty normal as far as I'm concerned. And it's crazy how obsessed the vegans and the health nuts are about the bathroom situation. It's like, is that really your focus in the situation? Is that what you're really concerned about? Why?
Yeah.
Why do you care what happens, what goes on in there?
isn't
Right.
that strange? You know why
I did
it
a
is?
purge. I did a purge after I got off of keto to carnivore. There was a time period where I got off the cauliflower and the almond flour and all the other fillers that I was kind of throwing in there to get off of the processed stuff. And I had about a week where my body, the stomach biome was changing, you know, so I understood that, like not trusting a fart, but then everything got, you know, right on track, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Right.
one time I did a Instagram reel. Speaking of vegans, Nate, I did a reel where there was this vegan like power lifter or something like that. He starts off all of his reels. He goes, "We eat grass, we build mass," and then
Wheat grass.
so I cut it out to me, right? And I showed a little like Chat GPT fact that you would have to eat 4.4 pounds of grass to just get 50 grams of protein in you. So I'm like, oh, so you're gonna eat that much grass to build some sort of mass? Yeah, bullshit.
That I don't understand how a lot of times people make that comparison of, you know, oh, you can get just as much protein being vegan. No, actually you can't. You can only get just as much protein eating vegan if you're substituting with fake meats, fake
Mhm.
protein bases, high super concentrated pea proteins, which have so many adverse effects. So it's like you can't just go out into the wild and eat a bunch of vegetation and get enough proteins to sustain your body. It's not possible. You can't do that. And
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better, Selena. Sorry to cut you off, but I'll do you one better. Some people will say, "Oh, it's just different sources of protein, even though animal protein is easier to process than plant protein, or easier to get a hold of than plant-based protein." It's not that it's any animal protein's better. It's just different. Yeah, okay.
Absorption is a big deal for sure when it comes to nutrients, and you
Right.
barely absorb any of the plant stuff. So you wonder why you're sick is because your body's surviving off itself.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, your body's fighting off the oxalates that you put into your stomach.
You know,
It can't do two things at once. It can't absorb nutrients and fight off the defense chemicals at the same freaking time, you know? It's like you guys as police officers, you can't fight bad guys and try to give directions for an old lady at the same time. It's impossible.
It's probably the same
Mul-
person.
it'd be pretty funny.
Right. Hey, listen, the geriatric population is the most underlooked criminal class in our society. The geriatrics are really need to watch out for them.
Those thieving elderly.
Oh my God. The old ladies used to kill our jewelry department at Macy's.
Oh yeah.
5-finger discount all the time. Ticket switchers, they were nasty too.
I'm telling you, they have a lifetime of preparing for that moment. They're ready.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. I mean, it's like we laugh about it now, and the sad reality is it's reality. But it's just like when you think about it, like you said, it's nobody looks at grandma and goes, "Oh man, might want to watch out for her. Lock up your pocketbooks." I mean, like,
I just feel like I'm
Oh
gonna
my
get
God.
old
Innocent
and
little
start
grandma.
grabbing things and be like, I'm old. I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly. All the testers in the world in your house. That's what my aunt had. My aunt passed away and we had all these testers. I'm like, how do you get all these testers? She's swiping them. That's what she's doing.
That's why the razor
You know?
blades are freaking locked up at the store. That's why I quit shaving. They started locking them up. I couldn't steal them anymore.
And you're like, I can't see any more razors. Yeah, that's
Like
a
shaving
racket,
work
right?
as
Razors.
is.
Yeah, it is. Like, what is it? Yeah. Wildest thing to steal, but
people are funny. I mean,
Yeah.
really, they're funny. I know. One of the things that I always thought was really crazy was the whole thing about, like the elderly with the cat food, speaking of like food and carnivore and lifestyle. And I kind of laughed when I started getting a little more educated. I'm like, well, crap, it's probably better than half the bullshit that's on the rest of the show. Like, not that it's good for you. I'm sure it's not, but just, disclaimer here. Don't go start eating cat food from a can. But I started like thinking about it and I'm like, compared to like all the crap that's in the boxes and those like, shakes that are chemically like processed and all this stuff that's completely like put towards elderlies. It's like, well, yeah, the cat food is probably more beneficial.
I had a history teacher who was a Vietnam veteran, and he told us a story about when he was in Vietnam that they got a care package sent to them, and they opened it up, and it was apparently sent by some anti-war activists. They had figured out where their unit was or whatever, and sent them this package, and opened it up, and it was just a big box of dog biscuits. And they were like, if you're going to live and act like dogs, you should eat like dogs. And he says, so they're sitting around, and one of the guys decides he wants to take a bite of the biscuit, and he's like, hey, this biscuit's not bad after all. And they sat around and ate dog biscuits while they were sitting at a forward operating base.
Good enough for
He
my
was like,
dogs, good enough for me.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah, all
you're
my
probably
dog and
familiar.
cats are raw. So,
Nice.
do you guys have dog and cats? What do you feed them?
Yeah, we give our dog the blue buffalo stuff, and you go through and look, and it's one of the cleaner ones that's out there, and
Yeah, I was
she's
gonna say
doing
it's one
great.
of the
Her
cleaner
coat
ones.
is wonderful. So she's actually sitting in the background here if you
Nice.
there. So
Wow.
yeah,
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, hey, Nate, since it's your 1-year anniversary on Instagram, right? I guess
It is.
I'm going to give you a present, and we already discussed it, but the carnivorecop.com I want to give you as a gift because I got that website. So you're going to be able to see carnivorecop.com, and I'm sure Nate's going to use it wisely and for great
I
things.
appreciate that. That's awesome.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, I grabbed it a few years back. It just held on to it because I didn't know if I was going to be the carnivore cop. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just buying websites like a dummy. And
It's so funny. I've gone through and done the same thing where, like, when I have any inkling that a politician's going to run for office or something, I'll go and buy the domain and then hold on to it for a couple of years. So I totally understand that concept. That's hilarious.
yeah. And then when Nate and I started becoming buddies, I was like, the carnivore cop. I go, I got the website, bro. So we're going to iron that out. I know we
That's
got caught
awesome.
up over the holidays, but I think you're going to do great
Make
things.
it happen.
That's gonna be great, man. And you get, like you
Dude,
said,
I
some of the
appreciate
products
that.
you're using, throw that shit on there, man. Because there's plenty of guys, especially you being in a training unit, you're gonna have so
For
much
sure.
of a reach on first responders out there, man. So I want to, you're gonna do great things with it. But
I
I was
appreciate
thinking
that.
about, I was
Thank
like, man, we were talking about, I'm like, man, I got to get that ironed out and make sure
Yeah,
we
when
get
the
that
holidays
legit for-
happen, things get kind of lost in the sauce, and you're just like, try to connect back up with people. But I appreciate that, dude. Thank you.
No, it's gonna be awesome, man, and you're gonna be huge, man. You're doing good things, man,
That's
and
so
we're all
cool.
proud of you, man. We've been watching you, and
Thank you.
He's a one of a kind.
Well, I'm
see, that's
trying
what partner.
to,
That's what backup units do. Okay.
Well, ultimately, it was funny because my wife and I were talking. We're like, we got to rent a camper or something like that. Go camping or something along the line of that during the summer and plan our summer out. And I'd love to make it out to one of your Cops and Camper events. It seems just like so organized, so well set up and thought out. And I saw you had Dr. Kiltz out this last summer,
Yeah.
which was awesome. I mean, so many people can benefit from connecting
Yeah.
up with him.
That's a good point. I forgot to mention it. We are having Sally Norton come this year too.
Ooh,
I don't know
awesome.
if you guys know who she is, but what I've been
Yeah.
trying to do is not go so hard carnivore, because you're bringing in cops to these events, first responders in general, veterans, but they all have loved ones, right? And sometimes their loved ones are nurses, and the nurses are having a hard time with the carnivore diet, especially if they're anywhere connected to heart disease, right? If they're part of that wing of the medical system. So when you bring out Kiltz, right, and he's like, plants, poison, they'll kill you, salt, butter, sometimes he comes off a bit scary. So now I'm bringing in Sally Norton to kind of help them out with oxalates, and let's talk thyroids, and
Yeah.
it's always a campfire talks. We have hikes. We got, people want to go into town and do a winery tour. They can do that. We have the official Cops and Campers food truck that's there. That's, it's not all just carnivore. He's a barbecue guy. He's got to sell what he's got to sell. And then we got the Cops and Campers band, which is tailor made. They play out there every year. We have our 5th year. It's going to be in Ithaca, New York this summer. And it's July 9th through the 11th. So 9/11. And we do have the opportunity for guys to rent campers, a cabin, or whatever. Just get out there. And, we're trying to get one in Texas. We're trying to get one going here in Alabama. And it's just a lot. But, if you want something in your area, reach out to Cops and Campers. We're trying. What it is, it's not just hanging around campfires. There's a lot more that's going on. You're making connections with guys that have been in the similar situations in their career, and maybe that had no one to talk to, because maybe there's no one in their department to talk to. So now we got guys that are, fishing buddies now that only met because of the Cops and Campers. Even though they're Eagles fan and a Giants fan, right? They still get along to go fishing. And we got fire and cops going fishing, and you got Navy guys and Army guys, and it really turns into just another unit that you're a part of. That's a support system. And we have our meetups in the carnivore world. Well, this is another, portion of that. And I do bring in the metabolic health, because I do want these guys to understand how to read their blood work, how to understand what cholesterol is, and that they're not going to die just because their doctors tell them, they got high cholesterol. And, it turned into a really good event, and it only landed in my lap because of a campground in New York that tried to kick us out for the police flag back in 2021. So if you've never seen it, look it up. You see me lose my shit on the guy, and because I couldn't believe a guy was telling me to take down an American flag. I just kind of lost it. And that's some of he's lucky that I was under control, and because I got so in the red over that situation, and I didn't like the way I acted on that video, and then we've turned it into a positive thing, and now we got,
evolved.
we took something bad and turned into something good, and, I know Nate's gonna, we're going to get you out to one of these events. If you can make it out this July, I know it's kind of you can fly into Syracuse and ride in with Kiltz,
There you go. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, like I said, we were talking about it, and it'd be fun. We're just already starting to plan our summer, and even though it's edging into January here, but yeah, we try to do family trips and things like that, and it's on our bucket list. It's something we definitely want to do, especially knowing you and being connected up with you. So.
And the campground, there is a local RV place that does rent RVs, and they also donate them. So if there is a veteran that out there that needs help and assistance just to get out there, get in touch with me. We can arrange it to get his family there. So
yeah. Well, if you do end up planning one in Texas, you should shoot to do something in the Texas Hill Country. It's a beautiful area, and there's some amazing campgrounds with some unbelievable views, and there's just so much.
Congratulations, Nate! You just got a project. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Welcome to the board. That's another catch I didn't tell you about. No kidding.
He
Don't put
says
the
no
work.
kidding. There's an email on the back end with all the rules and,
Yeah.
and regulations that you agreed to and didn't notice.
Right. Yeah.
Terms and conditions.
That's awesome.
It's good stuff, and it's just not first responders. You know, we usually have a lot of people that are camping at these campgrounds. They just happen to be there that weekend, and then it opens their eyes to, wow, you know, cops and firemen are real people too. You know, that kind of thing. But it really does work. You know, getting out there to see people when you're not in the uniform and you're not under that stressful situation, and you're a little more relaxed yourself because you're not on, you know, heightened awareness. You know, you're just kind of like, all right, I can chill with these regular civilians and not have any issues. You know, that was one of the biggest things for me getting back out of that life, was to get back into civilian life and understand, like coaching T-ball and stuff, like not everyone's freaking out there to get me, right? You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just so anyways, that'll be really cool to get some more of these events. And I do turn them into meetups at the same time. So you don't have to come for the whole weekend. You could just come for the Saturday and enjoy the concert, you know? I mean,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I love that you're integrating the carnivore and the keto eating and the lifestyle aspect of it, of essentially, you know, pushing people to consider this as an option to be healthy. I think it's just awesome. The whole thing's cool. So you're doing a great job. You're doing great work. You're doing God's work.
Thank you. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Not that I did anything bad in my previous life, but I do feel like this is more of a purpose, you know, and I'm helping a lot more people than I ever did when I was carrying the gun and badge around, you know. I mean, I was proud of that career,
awesome.
and what, you know, the thing guys got to realize, when you retire, life isn't over. You know, I mean, you can retire and start a whole nother career, a whole nother way of life. And, you know, that's what we've done. You don't have to go to school board as a cop and then go work for the courthouse and then go work for the jail, you know, that whole system of just oppression. And so get out while you can.
I know a few officers that got into sales after they retired.
Yeah, we like to talk. We can talk to people. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Truck drivers too. I meet all kinds of truck drivers. They don't want to talk to nobody. Just give me the keys. I'll drive the whole country. A lot of these guys.
Yup.
Yeah, I always joked around that I said, when I decide I'm done, I'm going to go like move into the mountains and become like a wilderness man. Just completely disconnect from society, but then I kind of thrive and enjoy talking to people. So maybe I don't want to do that. I'm not sure yet. I want to find something fun to do.
I think you'd enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Hey, you could do it for part of the year.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll come hang out with you for a week and see if I'm ready for it. And if I'm not, then I'll come back in a little bit.
Get a hunting tag next year. Come up.
Yeah, absolutely. Love hunting. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we need a carnivore hunting trip.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
And a couple of threes.
The real meetup. Can we survive in the woods?
Right.
No.
Yeah, I went whitetail hunting a couple of years ago, and as a joke, my brother and I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to eat anything until I shoot a deer. Like I can't treat myself if I can't, you know, bag a deer." And it was probably one of the worst years of hunting, and I folded like 2 days later.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's go get something to eat.
I do that, but just for the day. You know what I mean? So if I go all day and I don't get anything, then I'm like, okay, I'll eat. And then I wake up in the morning, and then it's a fresh day. So it's like, if I get the kill, then I take a bite of the liver, the heart. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I honor the kill. But
yeah,
that's just how
absolutely.
I do it. You don't have to do that. I do it because I love it. But
right.
Makes me feel alive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always say, like, I'll take I got a climber tree stand, and I'll, you know, ruck in, go sit up in a tree, get way up there, get my best naps in the woods. I probably get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep in the woods while I'm up there. It's a blast. So
yeah,
definitely enjoy it. And I think just
I'm
disconnecting and having time to
keep moving
to get some fresh air, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I've tried the tree stand thing. I can't sit there. I'm too many. I'm like, I gotta go do something. So go walking. I'll do the sit down for like 5 minutes to glass, you know, get the binoculars out, look, and be like, all right, I'm bored. Start walking again.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it.
I'm moving.
You guys see how much I move around just while we're sitting here for the hour. I'm like, I can hardly stand to sit here.
That's why I'm standing.
Maybe I need to do that. I need to figure out how to get it all set up so I can stand and do these and not sit in a chair and get like, antsy.
Yeah, I'm just secretly over here lifting weights. I'm not even, you know what I mean? You guys, I'm just over like, I gotta keep doing something.
On your
you know what I mean?
foot to
Like,
get those calves.
You bastard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lucky.
We can't hear you, Eric. I think
You're
you're muted. He's hitting buttons.
Hey,
There we go.
There it is.
I was gonna say, I was wondering what you were doing with your hands.
No comment. No
No
comment.
kidding.
No comment.
Usually I would have a comment.
Well,
normally I would.
the carnivore lifestyle, we are very, ready to go,
Well, they say you turn more human, and then you got to learn how to control the human. So
Exactly.
if you go full carnivore and go wild, then
Be a
gonna
werewolf.
put you down. No, yeah, gonna put you down. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, my 14-year-old's going through that puberty, carnivore, and I'm like, hold on, boy, hold on.
Man.
Yeah.
That's got to be a whole different level because I haven't experienced that with my kids yet. I know that we'll have that experience with my youngest. I have an 18-year-old and a 3-year-old son. So the 18-year-old, he didn't go through carnivore with me because I wasn't carnivore. So I didn't have that excessive, like testosterone driven error of time. But with our 3-year-old, I can only imagine that that's going to be a thing because he's already very proud of his guyness.
He's a man.
Yeah, my 14-year-old he's like a ninja warrior kid. He's a pretty athletic kid, and we've just let him be. We never like pushed him into anything. We let him challenge himself, and he's done a lot of parkour stuff. So he's just a different athlete than I was, and is ripped. I'm like, geez, I wish I could have been eating like this as a freaking young kid.
Right.
Like if I just would have got away from, and it's all natural. And he's just doing what a regular, naturally like athletic young man should be doing. And a lot of the stuff he does was hard for me because of weight issues or because I wasn't developing as fast or where I needed to be at that point. So it's really nice to see him. But now he's got this deep voice. And sometimes I'm like, who's in the trailer? And I'm like, oh, Tim. There's like another alpha male now. I'm like about to push him into his own pack, but he's only 14. So I get it.
That's funny.
Oh boy.
That's why you're on your healing journey, so you can't get ahead of you. You got to show him that he's got more to do. You know what I mean? So,
I'm the head beaver. You're going downstream, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Until I fall.
I know, right? So,
right.
Good.
The man of the house.
Yeah.
Hey, it was awesome chatting with y'all. I'm gonna cut loose. I'm gonna go and push my wife off to work here.
Got it.
Push her off to work.
Yeah. Y'all have a great day.
All right, Nate.
Bye,
We'll talk
Nate.
soon, brother.
Yeah,
See you, Nate.
absolutely. We'll see you guys.
All right, man.
And then there were 4.
Yeah.
Wow, we've been on 1 hour and 32.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you liked to talk. I was just gonna let it go.
What are we going to talk about next? Let's see.
Whatever.
Oh, my mom once, my cop mom once made the reference to our religion being our God is food. She said it like 4 years ago, because we don't eat the garbage. We don't like, and it just this is part of the relationships that have a hard time with carnivore that happen in your circle. It could be an aunt, it could be a brother or sister or whatever. My mom believes some of it, but not all of it, so it's always a struggle when you could help them and they need to lose weight themselves. And you're like, man,
or help with other things too, like not just the weight. Like I have, close family members that it's really challenging to go be around, like especially during this Christmas, it was really hard, and not from a sense of I could care less about the judgments and stuff that I'm getting from them, but it's hard to watch that they believe what they're doing is the absolute best option, and they are suffering medically so
Yeah.
drastically. And you just kind of go, God, I wish you could see how
'Cause it's
this could
been
help you.
because it's been normalized.
It's
Mhm.
weird to see people dying before your eyes, because I'm seeing that with my
Mhm.
wife's brothers. They're all like 10 years younger than me, and they're all obese. They're all at least medically obese. You know when they're
Right.
over. They're just not 20 pounds. They're like 60 to
Right.
70 pounds overweight, and
Ooh.
you see it: the fat ankles, the freaking lack of movement,
Mhm.
and he got a cat. I'm like, that's it. He's done. You know. I'm sorry.
You get cat scratch fever now.
Right.
Because that's now everything he does is for the cat. I'm like, that's his new girlfriend. Jesus, we got to get
Right.
him out. But anyways, that's just,
It's the
one
parasites
example that
controlling his brain.
I'm telling you, especially you get more than one cat in the house.
Mm.
Anyways,
Good
yeah,
I-
that's just funny. I hate the fact that you're watching these people, and I know what's going to happen, and it's going to be, the odds are one of the three is probably going to have a heart attack in the next 5 to 10 years, if not more. And then we're going to have to deal with that,
Yeah.
and you have to sit there sometimes and just let it run its course. It's hard, because you
Yeah.
can only do so much. I mean, I'm a living example right before their eyes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they're
still,
like, no, we can't
yeah,
see what's
it's
happening.
crazy. And then I got
Mhm.
guys
Yeah.
that barely meet that reach out. And they're like, dude, you changed my life. A year ago, I saw whatever, and you sneezed or something. And they're like, I'm down 80 pounds. You're like, oh my God, it is working, So,
Mm,
Yeah.
right.
Mm.
I make teachers because I'm a custodian
are you,
full time,
are you just,
and
is he talking?
Oh, can you not hear him?
No, I couldn't hear him.
how about now? Oh wait,
No, I mean I can hear you, Ev.
Oh, we can hear you, Everett.
So it's just
I couldn't
Just
hear him. Oh, interesting.
it's
Did I
just that
mute
he
you?
can't hear
Sorry,
you.
dude.
oh Eric
Did I
couldn't
mute
hear
you
me.
by
Okay,
accident? I didn't know I could do that. Okay.
I didn't hear you.
what is going on here? I'm a
See,
curse, I guess.
Apparently. Apparently.
But anyways, no,
Technologically cursed.
like so I'm a custodian full time, and I work at a junior high, and I make like the faculty and staff feel awkward when they're like, "Hey, Everett, you want some of these cookies or you want some of these donuts?" And I'm just like, "No, thank you, I'm all set." They're like, they get all weirded out, like no one says no to donuts and cookies and dessert.
Yeah, free food. Come on.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
It's like you're the cop at the party and everyone's drinking underage,
Right?
Yeah.
They're all, yeah, I get that too.
Oh,
It's, we're
The
sorry we're
carnivores
eating
here.
like this. We're sorry we're eating like this. No, you are. I'm sorry. It's your choice.
Yeah.
My
I mean,
husband and I were
the assistant principal asked me what I was doing for Christmas. I said, well, gym in the morning, and then I'm going to see my family at night. And they're like, okay. Like it's not normal to them.
Yeah, it's
know-
strange for them to, I think a lot of people go, oh, we can actually prioritize doing something that doesn't follow the traditional societal norm. Like,
Mhm.
what do you mean? You wake up and, if you participate with Christmas or whatever, it's like, oh, you wake up and there's usually like cookie leftovers for, the big jolly guy, and well, we'll go ahead and polish those off and we'll start out and everybody gets their coffee and donuts or Danish or cinnamon buns or whatever, right? And it's like that starts your breakfast, but you going to the gym in the morning, I mean, geez, weird.
The only reason, and the biggest reason why I get away with that is because I don't have a family of my own. That's the only reason.
Well, you got us.
I know that. But what I'm saying is I don't have a wife and kids, is what I'm saying.
A little easier. Yeah.
It
I
is
luckily got
easier.
my whole family to transition, but I guess I got lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
But I did see my family later that day. So,
Yeah.
it's not like I have no family or anything like that. No, I just I just don't have a family of my own. Therefore, it's easier for me to just go to the gym in the morning, come back home, take a shower, get ready, and get the presents ready and go see my family later on that night. That's all.
Yeah.
It's good.
Definitely.
It was just like weird for the teachers to hear gym, then Christmas party. Like, okay, yeah, that's different. Good for you.
What about you guys? My husband and I were talking about how we always laugh when we get the question of, oh, well, we've brought XYZ in for whatever, office party, work party, whatever. We brought this. Are you allowed to have this? It's like, what do you mean am
Yeah.
I allowed? I'm allowed to have whatever I want.
Yeah. If I eat it, that depends. It's a whole different thing, but I can have what I want.
Like it's not a matter of like, somebody's got me shackled and I can't have it. It's like I choose not to have it. I choose to, do better for myself. Or often I literally don't even want it.
Yeah.
It's
They always try to catch me eating something. Like all of a sudden there'll be like one of the things my mom used to always make growing up was like a peanut butter cookie with a Hershey's Kiss in it, like a peanut butter blossom, they called it.
Mhm.
And if I see one of those sometimes, man, that's like, I'll be eyeballing it. And then if I grab it, it's like everyone all of a sudden is like, aha, you do eat it, I'm like, I never
Got
said
him.
I don't ever eat. Yeah, it's like they're trying to catch the keto cop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then
It's
and then
so
sometimes I won't eat it because I don't want to get caught. I start playing the stupid game.
They're watching me. No.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna eat it. I'll take it later when y'all are drunk. I'll slide through.
Yeah.
Don't let them
You
do
eat
that.
it when you're
They're
not being
controlling you.
surveilled.
I know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't let them control you.
So funny, right?
You tell me not to, I'm going to go do it, probably. That's the bad thing
I'm
about
the
that.
same, Cam.
It's a curse.
Same.
Everybody's got that one cousin that's sneaking over. You're going to eat that?
No, I know.
No.
Hey, he ate it. I told you. He started yelling it out.
Yeah.
That's the little nephew saying that.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking out for. That little
That's
blabber
right.
mouth. I'm looking around.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know what about those little sausages that are wrapped, the little finger sausages, man. Pigs in a blanket, those things.
Yeah.
That's what they caught me with last time. I think a year ago at Thanksgiving or something. I was like popping them in like popcorn.
Oof.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I know.
There's meat in it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's 50-50.
I used to make it with the
maybe.
that fathead pizza dough that you would get, whatever it's called,
Okay.
fathead or something like that. I used to make the little hot dog roll-ups in there. It was pretty good, but
Oh.
that was I was detoxing and getting off the carbohydrates. I hadn't to use something, So.
I get you.
Yeah, for sure. My 3-year-old, he'll police everybody around. When we were at Christmas, it was funny because like we're sitting there and my in-laws had made like a big ham and they made some deviled eggs and stuff and we were like, okay, cool. And she had a plate of like nuts and fruit and my 3-year-old was like, yeah, we don't eat that. That's poison. That's yucky. I'm just like, it's fine. So far
Definitely
we've
have
gotten
to teach kids how to talk.
Kids are brutal. They tell the truth.
Oh man, he's funny. You ask him where donuts belong and he goes, oh, they belong in the trash.
Yeah.
I got a funny story for you, Selena, speaking of which. So when I was like 7 years old, I remember it like it was yesterday. So my family is a bunch of heavy drinkers, right? Especially my grandfather. He loved beer, right? So here I am, 7 years old. My grandfather says, Everett, give me a beer, please. I go, oh, okay. Now I remember my mom telling me that beer is bad for you back then, right? So what do I do instead? I go in the fridge. I pour him a glass of milk. And I give it to him. He gets the glass of milk. He looks down, and he had this like stoic, like anger, like he's holding in his anger. He's like, really? my aunts and my mom, they were all laughing so hard, and he was so pissed. He wanted to smack me for that. But I was just like, hey, milk, beer's bad for you. Milk is good.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
I got him good that day.
Yeah. Probably never ask
yeah.
him again.
I would have sipped that beer as I gave it to him.
But yeah, that's the story of 7-year-old Everett back then.
Well, I am gonna have to hop off here myself,
All right.
which is
Yeah,
gonna shut
same.
us down. We're right at an hour and 45 minutes. So,
Awesome.
and interestingly enough, we've held about the same amount of viewers. So you guys are troopers out there.
Awesome. Or either that or they fell asleep. They're still watching.
I fell asleep. So.
They couldn't have fell asleep. We're not boring.
That's right.
Everett's going to take his shirt off in the next 30 seconds.
I don't know about that. I'm not caught up on the the manscaping right now. So.
Oh my gosh.
That we definitely need to end the show.
Awesome.
Out now,
Great
guys.
chat, guys. We'll see you.
All right,
love
guys.
you, Sam. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, take it easy, Eric.